Welcome to the PTA Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, John Caligiuri, accompanied by my co-host, Nick Kelling. Nick, how you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. We're going to talk about one of my favorite people.
Yes, we're going to be discussing Elon Musk, a world-renowned entrepreneur hailing from South Africa. Some people love him, some people hate him. Nick, roll the clip and we'll get chit-chat.
Okay, sounds excellent.
Percent less than it was at the time that Elon Musk bought it.
Obviously, they're leaning into the idea of subscriptions for the platform with X Premium, but it just isn't going to make up for the amount of advertising dollars that they've lost. It's not an appealing product. I don't really see a reason to pay more. Anecdotally, I'm seeing a lot of people on Meta's Threads. Elon Musk wants to turn it into a super app. Wendy Yacarino is obviously trying to continue to get advertisers to want to come back, but all kind of follows the various negative reports out of X, whether that's Elon Musk cursing out big name advertisers like Disney, specifically Disney CEO Bob Iger, calling out companies that have pulled their ads from the platform because they don't want to be associated with certain types of content. Elon Musk's own posting of controversial content. It just all seems to be kind of snowballing here into a broader problem. It's unlikely that we would see the end of X. It's still bringing in revenue, but it's far off of what it was doing prior.
X is worth 71.
Okay, yeah. I just want to say one thing. Maybe big companies are going to Threads, but the individual person might be signing up with Threads and then never using it again.
I think that was legitimately, I think that was a red herring by some guy who's paid or has some sort of affiliation with Facebook. No one uses Threads. No one uses Threads.
Yeah. And it's Yahoo. They're known to stretch the truth and do their thing. But yeah, no one uses Threads. Maybe some big companies you can make an argument went to Threads and spent some money on Threads, but what they're doing is spending money on Meta as a whole. They're not. Yeah, and companies did pull out of X, but I mean that's just because their moral values and doesn't align with Musk's moral values.
Full disclosure, I'm not a big fan of Elon Musk at all. I think he thinks, and people think he's smarter than he actually is. A lot of his brilliant ideas have not come to fruition. And some of his big ideas that have won, he got rid of. Like PayPal is, I think it's a top 25 company in the world. He's no longer a part of it. And also the reason why it's literally called the PayPal Mafia. You can watch documentaries. I think one of those episodes we should do a deep dive into the PayPal Mafia. But he was with so many great people that went on to found other great businesses as well. Like his tunnel in LA was a kaputs. Remember the miners in Asia? They was gonna go get out with some submarine. Didn't do anything. The Starlink thing makes no sense to me whatsoever. The Twitter acquisition, he did it for free speech. So that's one of the things I do agree with Elon Musk. I think he's a good guy. I think his heart is in the right place. I agree with his methodology. But he did come at us he was a single proprietor, he's a human being, and then he went after the belly of the beast of the media because a lot of with ESGs and stuff like that, it's all a method of control. So they want us all to be thinking XYZ with this social credit score and got to mind everyone's feelings. And Elon Musk is the antithesis of that. So of course, mainstream media,
DEI too.
Well, they changed it. It used to be ESG, now they changed it to EI.
I don't know what it's all the same thing.
It's the LGBTQIF whatever. They have a million things to it, so you can never put them down. You never know what they're meaning.
They're always changing. They're always morphing.
It's always morphing, always changing. Doesn't know what gender it is. Doesn't know what universe it is. Doesn't know if it's a dog or a cat or a corporation. I despise all of it. Rage against the machine. That's my honest opinion. I do not like Elon Musk. I do not really think he's that great of a businessman. I think he got lucky with PayPal that he had a great group of human beings with him, and they created one of the greatest companies in the past 35 years. Legitimately, PayPal revolutionized payment system. When we Navy fed each other, that's all based off of that. All online shopping exists because of PayPal. And don't get me wrong, Elon Musk definitely had a heavy hand in it, but I don't think he's some genius person that we need to bound on his feet. I don't really think he's that well good at business. Does he have significantly more money than me? Obviously, yes. I'm not. If so, if the people in the comments want to come at me for that opinion, I know he's smarter and richer than I am. I just don't think. I think the juice is just not worth the squeeze. But
Yeah, I
I
would
really
disagree.
screw threads. I think what he's doing with Twitter is
Oh,
going to work. I think what he's
What?
doing with X, I think is going to work.
Oh yeah, yeah. I never really. I mean, I downloaded Twitter when I was in high school. Made some ridiculous comments, whatever high schoolers do on Twitter. But I never actually started using it for business purposes. I never really used it at all, other than just chit chatting with friends, until he was thinking about buying it, and I'm like, all right, I got to check this thing out. And now, I mean, it's definitely my number one social media that I use for entertainment, I guess. Meta's still going to be number one for advertisement.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
I specifically downloaded X because Elon Musk bought it, and Tucker Carlson's that's his only thing. I straight up downloaded X just in support of those two gentlemen. So even though I do like, I will admit, like I'm not an Elon Musk fan, but I believe in his like the freedom of speech. Like I believe his heart is the right place. So I specifically downloaded X for Elon Musk.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think it's pretty cool that like he's competing and outdoing NASA in a lot of things, a government agency. Like,
Come on,
he's-
an ape and a banana can outdo a government agency.
true, true. But
Come on, Nick. We both work for the government a time or two. Like we know it is not the greatest way to organize human beings to accomplish a task.
no, no, and that's I think Elon Musk saw that and had a pretty big passion of like obviously he's an engineer to achieve hopefully Mars before he dies. Hopefully he is able to get something there.
Yeah, no. And I think it's an uphill battle for him. And I think he's as much crap I just talked on Elon Musk. He really is the only person that I know of maybe Patrick Bet-David, who could take on like the deep business, whatever you want, the deep state, the global lines, the whatever term you want to call like the legacy media and all their cronies. He's the only one, because why is all the major advertisers not signing with him? Because they want higher ESG scores or EI whatever scores, because that BlackRock and all the State Street, they all work together.
Yeah.
And that's so he's not battling, he's one man against the world right now. That's why that's legitimately why I downloaded the app. I'm like, I want to fight against these people because they screw over the little man time and time again, just put money in their pockets. I'm like, I will download X just because Elon Musk is the only person battling against it.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I hope with like this election coming up, hopefully, a lot of those things that he has brought to the average person's awareness about ESG, diversity, equity, inclusion. Hopefully that has a lot of influence on whoever takes office and does some change.
Because I honestly believe nothing's going to change. Like you could put Donald Trump in there again, or Joe Biden, or that jackal from California, Gavin Newsom. I really, back in the day when they did the trust busting.
Yeah.
Like in the early 1900s, the 2020s and 2030s, when they broke up all the major corporations. That's really what we have to do again. Like that's honestly what I believe. Like I'm not a big government guy, but the two, all the major stock market companies all own each other. How is that possible? They're all working together. Of like BlackRock owns, I think it's like 70% of all the companies traded on the S&P 500 are controlled by a handful of companies and people like that. It's all intertwined, interconnected, and that's why there's a lack of growth, and that's why they're able to hire people not based on merit but based on
race.
Race, equity, diversity, all that nonsensical things, which is the antithesis of America. Like I'm a first generation guy. Like my dad was not born here. We came here. I had a pretty nice life because you work hard, you meet the right people, and eventually things work out for you, or they don't. But this is America. You have unlimited chances to be successful in whatever means necessary. Think about how great of a nation we have. You could literally move into the mountains of Utah and have a ranch and never participate in society and be a-okay. Or you can move to LA and pursue a dream in acting or singing, and you may not be Nicki Minaj or whoever it be, but you could be a touring musician. Or you can move to New York City and be a stockbroker or whatever. Like, all those things are possible in one nation. And that's why I despise this ESG nonsense, is because it's taken away. And that's why I truly believe, like, I don't care who's running the nation, this person, that person's whatever, before, like, and unless we get someone in there who's really like, I'm going to be a trust buster and I'm going to break up all the corporations, then we're going to be in the same boat as we are today 10 years from now.
Yeah. Well, one thing learning from, a presidential candidate, Ron DeSantis, is that he actually passed ESG legislation in Florida, banning it.
I think it all stems from LBJ, when the war on poverty. All this is like the same stuff from the 60s. Like, one of the scariest things, I forget where I was reading this or what podcast I watched, when they said, when we went to the moon, we thought we won, but really the hippies won. All this nonsensical stuff stems from those loons in the 60s. All those hippie nonsense, it all stems from that. And it's not worked, and it's made America worse. And it's all because they just want to make everyone equal, which is the exact opposite of America. America loves the maverick. America loves what's it called? Individual, the rugged individual. We conquered the West. You put your family in a hay-covered wagon. You got a horse. You got a 6-shooter, and you're battling bears, buffalo, and Indians. Like, that's what America is. A manifest motherfucking destiny, baby. Like, that's what we are. So all this ESG stuff, oh, we all got to be the same. We got to do this. We got to do that. Walk in the same line. Cover down. Screw all that nonsense. I despise it. It's anti-American communism. It's anti-American scum. That's why I think about it.
I 100% agree.
That's not even my opinion. That's just a fact. Like, manifest motherfucking destiny, baby. And they're just trying to take it away. Yeah. They're trying to take that away from schools. They want to teach about Oprah Mae Johnson. Who gives a shit about her? I want to learn about the cowboy. I want to learn about Chesty Pull. I want to learn about the people going across West gold mining they got no teeth. They're fighting bears. They're in California and they're mining for gold. That's what America's about. I hate when people get on their high horse about, oh, I went to this college. Oh, I went to that college. I'm so smart. No, you don't know shit. You didn't do anything. You still live in the same 300-mile radius of your hometown. You never crossed.
You're just spewing socialism.
Yes.
Just lazy. I learned in college, socialism.
It's just pure laziness. It's a spit in the face to all the people who came here before. Like, oh, I feel bad for this person because they had it worse for me. Yeah, that happens in
that's life.
Happens in life. Do I wish I was 6'4" and could run a 4.40 40 and play in the NFL? Yes, that was my dream. But I'm a 6-foot pudgy Polish man from Wheaton, Illinois. It just wasn't in the cards for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get over it.
Yeah, 100%.
I got a podcast now. You know, you think that's what I was when I was in the backyard with my brother? I was like, oh, I'll be doing a podcast. No, I was dreaming about playing in the Rose Bowl. That never happened for the boy. Boo-hoo for me.
You know what? We need pudgy people in the NFL. If you don't support this idea, you're a fascist.
No, legitimately, I can see in our lifetime them if this ESG nonsense keeps going, I can see they already got female refs, they got female coaches. You don't tell me they're not going to push for a female kicker.
Oh,
they already have it in college. Vanderbilt had a female kicker.
College,
Vanderbilt had a female kicker, and she sucked. By the way, not that she was better than me. I can't kick a ball either. I'm not going to hand up and say that I'm a great kicker, but
did she miss a field goal or is that
she kicked it? Like, you can look, it's honestly comical how bad she was. I'm not even being a mean. Like, it was comical how bad she was. Because
and she's a good soccer player in the female. For female.
Say again?
Like, wasn't she one of a top rated soccer player?
Yeah, she was a legitimate D1 athlete for soccer. And then,
But
but you have to
not-
put all the pads on and kick a football. It's different. It's literally a different ball. It's shaped
Yeah.
completely different. No, it doesn't translate perfectly.
No, but like just for some context, like this isn't like some random female that just walked on the field. Like she is credible.
Oh yeah,
She-
Nick, thank you.
she's
This
a
is a
good
podcast, not a rant. I
kicker of balls.
appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate providing context. Yes, it was Vanderbilt University. Is between 2017 and 2020, and she was an active member of the female Vanderbilt soccer team. So she was a far better athlete than I ever was. I bet you she still is currently a better athlete than I am right now. But that doesn't that doesn't take away from the fact that she couldn't kick a football to save her life.
Yeah, no, 100%. And no female probably is going to in the NFL.
Yeah, this is America. A female could inject a bunch of steroids or decide, or one day change. You could be a man one day, like Leah Thompson, change your gender and then say you're female and kick a football in the NFL.
But
I
are
wouldn't
you?
put that past anyone.
That just gets me every time. I just laugh.
Yeah,
Like this is the weirdest thing.
it's like sometimes I think about it like, what are we doing here? Like, don't you have something better to do? Like, go read a like if you're that bored and that
First world
insecure,
problems.
go read a book. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're that bored that you got to change your gender, go read a book, bro.
Yeah, I think we just got so successful. I mean, we live in everyone in America lives with the top 5%. So like, what else are you gonna do? Like, you're already at the top 5% of people with wealth. Like, might as well just, I don't know.
Yeah, might as well just cut off your
theories.
dick and go swimming and
Yeah.
become a national champion. That's basically what that broad did, or that dude did. He just cut off his dick or pretended to and set him to go win a national title in swimming. Like, and honestly, why swimming? Like, you could do, there's so much cooler sports to do. Like, I would say volleyball
Boxing?
is way cooler. Wrestling's cooler. Swimming, though. I did swim team my senior year. I did hand up. I did not know how to swim until my senior year. That was one of the most embarrassing days, like months of my life, is learning how to swim. We'd go through meets and people would be done swimming and I would be jumping in and I would doggy paddle down, doggy paddle go back. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm a world-class swimmer. But if I was going to cut off my dick and pretend to be a female to win a national championship, I would at least pick a cool sport like volleyball, cool ass sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally just throwing balls 100 miles an hour at people. Or basketball. What are we talking about? Basketball. Basketball. That's a way. Like, if I was going to cut off my dick to be a national champion, I would choose basketball because at least you could make money doing that.
What have you seen the new Daily Wire Lady Ballers?
I've not seen the movie. I've seen the trailer.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer.
Like, who? What? Okay. Who? Ben Shapiro. Cool for you, bro. You have your own Republican thing. Who the hell watches the Daily Wire? The thing I hate about the Daily Wire is they are so smug. They're almost liberals how smug they are. It's like, bro, like Ben Shapiro, take a step back. Like, you are not as smart as you think you are. And that one guy with the beard, you're not nearly as funny. Like, he looks at the camera and he thinks he's freaking Tim Dillon or Shane Gillis or like a world-class comedian. He's not that funny.
Matt Walsh?
Yeah, Ben Walsh. Matt Walsh, Ben Walsh, they're all the same.
So
He's just some
Matt
guy
Walsh,
with a deep voice and a beard. It's a dime a dozen.
His thing is just calling out common sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that he is something that, like, he's not saying anything groundbreaking. He's just saying common sense stuff that a lot of people just don't understand. Like, it's not right to cut off your penis.
I think people understand that's wrong. I think they were just force fed and, like, going back to the ESG thing, that they make it economically favorable for you to believe that those outrageous things. Like, I don't think if you're walking down the street, you pull 100 people, cutting off your dick and beating to become a world champion at swimming. I bet you 95% of the people are like, that's horrible. Why would you do
depends
that?
where you're at.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the brainwashing is deep rooted in certain places.
Yeah.
Like there, but I don't even think in California people love to poo-poo the coast. Is there a lot of idiots there? Yes. I live on the East Coast. Is there a lot of people that infuriate me on a daily basis? Yes. You should hear me drive my car at night. There are idiots everywhere, but even California, I think they're just shoving this down people's throats because that's what they tell you have to believe to make money. Or the biggest thing they ever did was, if you don't believe this, you're a bad person. No, I don't think I'm a bad person for believe like if you're a tranny, be a freaking tranny. You know what I'm saying? Like, but don't come at me. Like I like let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're gonna hire someone off their merits,
Merit. Yeah.
not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because they cut off their dick and said I'm a woman now.
And we have to meet it so we can meet certain ESG score. So
Or
we
you're not
can
gonna get
be
along.
rated.
That's all. Like I know we've been, I've been talking a lot of shit, ranting, but that's basically what this whole ESG is. That's what scares me the most is that it's going to turn into a social credit score of did you tweet
Oh
this,
yeah,
like this page?
it is.
Oh, you are a fan of Ben Shapiro, which I'm not, well, I'm somewhat of a fan, but oh, you listen to the Daily Wire, you trying to buy a house, that interest rate's going to be 15% instead of 10. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it's going to be. Or oh, your social credit scores this, you can't buy this or you can't buy that. That's what it's really going to turn into, or what I predict they're trying to turn into, which is very scary to me.
Yeah, I mean, that might be something in the future. I don't know, maybe at the end of our lifetime, but I think they're really going for people's how they invest in people's retirement. And that if you,
I completely disagree. I think it's when the next 15 years they can
I mean,
look what they did for
maybe, but I'm
truckers.
saying like right now, like if I get a job in corporate America and I want to be part of some investment, like I want to invest in a 401k and they're going to match me 5%, that mutual fund is going to be funded. I'm funding this mutual fund, which the fiduciary who's in charge of that mutual fund is buying stuff that off of an ESG score, not my best interest. And that's how they're going to control people.
Oh, they're definitely using methods of control. What scares me currently, remember the truckers in Canada? They debanked them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, that happened a couple
And
like
like,
couple
hey,
years ago. It's already happened.
Yeah, and these mutual fund companies, they're like, oh, we don't agree with this company, then we're gonna take you out of this mutual fund, out of this fund, and you're gonna be bankrupt.
Well, my one thing that does give me hope, because I'm hopeful for the future. I know I've been kind of negative during this podcast, but I'm definitely very hopeful for the future. If you only hire purely on race or equity or whatever, you're not looking for the best candidate anymore. Well, then eventually you're not going to have the control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
true.
cream always rises to the crop. So if you're only hiring because someone is of a different race than you or of a certain race because they were disenfranchised before, well, then I'm not denying that those persons are not good workers or whatever. But if you're not hiring the best worker, then eventually your company is going to be taken over.
Yeah, unless you're too big to fail and you get a government bailout.
See, but that's a fallacy. The too big to fail is a fallacy.
No, that's what I'm saying. It
I
is.
know that's what I know.
But
That's what
when
they're
you
planning.
do
I know
fail
they're planning
because
on.
you hired people that are not qualified,
Yeah.
you're going to be under this umbrella of people thinking that, oh, this company can't fail because it's going to destroy people's livelihoods and retirement. So, hey, the government's going to step in and bail them out anyways. So they can continue just hiring people that's not qualified. 50, 100 years go by, they bankrupt. Oh, we can't have this company bankrupt because it's going to ruin people's lives. Bailout.
Yeah, but I don't know if you get the sense, but I think the tide is turning. People got lied to the face
100%.
way more because, like, I was talking to my roommate James about this today. Like, all the people that supposedly are experts, I have no trust for. Like, if someone came up to me and said, "Oh, I'm a scientist and I went to Harvard," I don't believe anything you're saying. If you have anything to say about COVID, I immediately think you're an idiot and you're a paid like stooge. Or you're an investment guy and you went to some bigwig university. I think you're just an idiot. Like, I'm gonna hand up and say, I don't think like I'm not the smartest person ever in the world, but all those things, that's what I'm interested to see is like what the qualifications going forward are. Because if you, I have zero trust for a so-called experts anymore. The experts I have zero trust for, and I don't think I'm the minority. I think I'm the majority of people. Like
100%.
don't trust people.
And this goes back to our previous podcast where we talked about Aristotle and ethos of credentials. if you're saying if my credentials is that I went to Harvard and I'm a scientist and expert in this field, and I don't count that as a credential, you're not going to persuade me. You need, ethos, pathos, and logos. And if you don't have that ethos, if you don't have the credentials that you're giving me, I'm not going to be persuaded by you. I'm going to be persuaded by someone who I do think, hey, this is credible. Or I look into you and be like, okay, because of these things, I deem you credible. You can now persuade me, or like give me knowledge. And I think I 100% agree. Like the Harvard thing and many other things that people used to deem as a credible source now is not, because how they just ruined themselves.
Like legitimately, if someone's like, I went to an Ivy League institution in the past 20 years, like if you went to like an Ivy League institution from like 1990 and down, then
Because
like
it was credible back then.
Yeah, but if from 2000 till now, oh, I went to an Ivy League, I think you're an idiot and brainwashed.
I mean, if the president of the university supports genocide, how can I take your side on anything else, or take the knowledge that you spew about anything? Like, if you openly admit to supporting genocide in a congressional hearing, how am I going to take your expertise on anything else?
Yes, or to even get like at a broader point of view of, if the basis of all this ESG nonsense stems from your institution of higher learning, so then I assume that you're implementing those things yourself. So if you supposedly like, why is Ivy League supposedly the best? Because it's the hardest to get into. So it's supposed to be the best teachers, the best minds. It's supposed to be a collection of America's like the world's highest minds. If you're gonna be a proponent of this and hire people just because they're black and make them the president of the university just so you can get an ESG win, well, that's telling me then you're probably not screening out for the best people. You're not like, you're not giving the best education. Yeah, maybe in 1800 you were, or 1990, yeah, you were, but like now it's evident that you're not. So
it's very clear.
Yeah, it's clear as day that you're just producing idiots.
Yeah. And this isn't just
Frank. I want to give a shout out. My boy Frank is my best friend. He goes to an Ivy League school. I'm not talking shit on you. I love you, my friend, but I have no respect for the Ivy League degree.
No.
From like 2000 till now, you went to Ivy League school. I wipe my ass with that degree. You know what I'm saying? Like I have no respect for your opinion, unless you have other qualifiers. Like if you went to an Ivy League school, then you start your own, like who's that dude?
Yeah, you have to have other credentials on top of your Ivy League thing.
Yeah,
to be credible source.
Who's that? Who's the guy running for president right now? Ramaswamy. Yeah, I think he's a credible person.
He's like incredible, great knowledge about multiple topics, and something to support what he has done with biotech and the competitor to BlackRock and all those things. The degree just reinforces what he's already done. The degree isn't the main ethos. What he's done is what gives him credibility.
Like to me that I think he went to Yale Law School.
Harvard.
That means absolutely nothing to me. Legitimately, that means like to me on my like grading scale. Like if this was Madden, that's a 0%. But like the fact that like he's first gen, he created his own. He's like a self-made multimillionaire. Like he's a family man. He's like all those things. Like I'm like, okay, this guy's squared away. Whatever college you went to means absolutely nothing to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
No.
For me, it's like, okay, you say all this stuff, you're a smart guy. That is what makes you credible to me. And then you went to Yale Law School. That's just an addition.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, like I understand the history of Yale, blah, 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 blah. It's very credible. But that's not what I'm mostly deeming you as credible as.
And think about all the jackasses that went to Ivy League schools. Like George W. Bush went to Yale. That guy doesn't have two brain cells to rub together now or even back then. When he was invading Iraq, he didn't have two brain cells to rub together. So like what I'm saying is that's what I'm interested to see of what's going to be the new credible thing. Because to me, my opinion, maybe people do not value like that at all anymore, unless you're in that East Coast or West Coast bubble of like, oh, I was in this fraternity. Yeah, cool, bro.
So actually, what I think will be the next credible thing is, I'm gonna say like, hey, Ramaswamy, Trump, owned their own businesses and built an empire outside of politics, and that's where they get their credibility and their knowledge. Hey, I'm a successful businessman. I've built a multi-million-dollar company. That's what's making me credible, not the idea that I have a MBA, a master's in business.
Or look at the other thing, or RFK Jr., what he did in the 80s with the Hudson River. Like he did a lot of good work in the Hudson River as like an eco lawyer. Am I Mr. Do I love the paper straws? Hell no. I think that's one of the dumbest thing ever. But like what he did legitimately good work. So I believe when it comes to those certain things, I believe what he's saying because he put his money where his mouth is and he grinded as an eco lawyer, especially in the time like in the 80s.
He's very successful.
Yeah. So I think whatever he has, I'm sure he went to an Ivy League school too. I know he was a drug addict before, so he might have got kicked out of an Ivy League school, but that makes it even more credible.
Yeah. He has some hardships.
Well, his father got smoke checked on live TV. That's a pretty big. That's a pretty big hardship. That's what I always love when people like get in his kitchen about being a drug addict. It's like, bro, your uncle got smoke checked on live TV. Your dad got smoke checked. Can we give this man a break?
Okay.
Yeah. I give him a little bit of a leeway to make some mistakes as a youth.
He believes the CIA or FBI killed his uncle.
I don't really know. I just know the official story is probably a Fugazi. I do respect that a Marine. Shout out to the Marine Corps for getting that one, for getting a president. Shout out to them for that. But I just know the official story is probably a Fugazi.
Yeah. Which I mean would make sense that the CIA would hire someone who went through Marine Corps boot camp.
Everyone knows it's the toughest training in the world.
I mean, maybe back then.
Yeah. So all the Marines, thank you for your service because I know you worked really hard.
Semper Fidelis.
Always faithful.
Yeah, I mean, could any of the other military say that they have a president's body?
I don't know. They might. I really hope if they come after Trump, they use a Marine.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, the Air Force.
Yeah, they might use the Navy SEAL this time because they're in vogue.
Space Force cadet.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, I think that really wraps it up. Is there anything else that you?
That's all I got, Nick. Where can the people find you? And also after this episode, if you can't find Nick's Instagram, you know why.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Look me up on X. That's where you can find me. Kelling Realty Group, Houston, Texas. And if you don't like X, then I mean you can just probably shut off this podcast. But also, if you want to use Instagram, you can find me there too on Houston, on Kelling Realty, Houston, Texas. And where can they find you, John?
Please go follow the pod's Instagram. It's real_PTA_podcast. And then on YouTube, it's just PTA_pod.
And remember, manifest destiny.
Man of motherfucking fest destiny. God bless everyone. Have a good rest of your day.
God bless.